Good day to you, my fellow endoskeletons. I'm Kenetor and welcome back to the channel. The time has come, all hands to hype stations. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Frozenbyte have officially announced Starbase will be launching into early access on the 17th of June this year. Get your holidays booked off work now, it's gonna be a crazy one. We also got an official price update which will still be at the max of $40 or 40 euros. But wait! That's not all we got this glorious day. We were also blessed with a roadmap that sees us through to the end of the year. And here it is. We can see here we've got two sections to this timeline. But before we dive in, let me remind everyone that this roadmap is subject to change, nothing here is guaranteed, and all dates are rough. But it will be updated as they go. Now stick around and let's dive a little deeper into all of this. So let's start off with the bigger features first. There are 12 in total, which probably represents what they hope to bring each month. And we see here the features that we already have got so far this year, highlighted in green, and in pretty much the order we got them. Which means both easy mode, which Frozenbyte has already covered recently in a new video, and multiplayer stations will be with us soon. Multiplayer stations here means multiplayer built. Right now, only the station owner can build the station. Of course, anyone that you allow can use the station, but it's the building that takes the time. Having multiplayer building for stations is key to getting them up and running in a reasonable amount of time, and giving your faction something to do as a group. Next up we have refineries and capital ships. These were also recent feature videos that have been released, and my bet is that we'll see these added in the months following release, as both of these seem to be more later mid to end game tech, and a wait on these features would be fine in my opinion. I highly recommend checking out the Atmospheres video released by the devs for more info on gas refinement, and the capital ship video is also well worth the watch. But I'll make a video covering this soon. Crafting and research is the next one along, and this is the first time we have seen mention of any sort of tech tree or tech progression, which is quite exciting. With this and the new material economy, I'll be talking about that a little bit later, so stay tuned, progression will see a much slower pace towards the endgame than what we have experienced thus far in closed alpha, which gives us a lot more things to work towards. As for how the tech tree works, I have a quote from senior game dev Axeli, who says all the basic stuff will be opened rather quickly. Like in a tutorial, you go to craft something and you almost instantly can start to build ships if you have the resources. And while the tech tree will restrict your progress to some extent, they don't want to make it grindy and too time consuming. It's just when you craft stuff, you learn new stuff along the way. For me, this is sounding like a mix between Valheim and Space Engineers, so it should be pretty straightforward. Social tools for companies will bring us further additions to companies. This is looking like it's coming around the end of Q2 or the start of Q3. Honestly, I think this is one of the few required things I and a few others will pick for a must for early access launch. Moving forward, we have moon bases and moon mining, which will also include the massive Titan asteroids too. This will bring even more content for the now established player base to sink their time and resources into. And then we have station siege as well, meaning just before or after moon bases, we will have to contend with people launching station attacks. This will certainly spice up gameplay just like space exploration. With this bringing the new radiation mechanics to the game means people will be able to look for radiation hotspots that could be ships. This will lead to more PvP for those ships with unshielded reactor cores. Not only this, we will also have new dust clouds which will also corrode through your ship, should you not protect yourself from them. And new moons too, giving us yet more points of interest to fight over and control. The next one we have is ship controls, bringing both mouse controls for ships as well as new controls for the ship with new screens, buttons and lights. I'm also hoping this will also bring joystick, HOTAS and gamepad support at the same time. If you don't know already, all ship controls are currently keyboard only. The insignia and reputation update will also be very interesting. The devs have talked this one up for some time and will allow you and your company to rank specific people or whole other factions as either friendly or aggressive or a whole range in between. This will help in identifying pirates and threats as well as friendly players or neutral traders. Why rate them? Well, you can subscribe or follow to an individual's or company's reputation list and aggregate the data for a bigger picture on someone's reputation as a whole in the game world. And lastly, for bigger features, we have cosmetics and voice. Cosmetics will be the longer term funding model for Starbase since it does not have a monthly subscription, and they are doing this the right way, no loot crates or anything garbage. just straight optional premium skins. And since I've seen so many people ask for it, it looks like the devs have changed their mind on in-game local voice comms. And we should get this towards the end of the year. Diving a little deeper now into some of the smaller features, note that these will probably be done in a random order and most likely will not run down one by one. Again, we start off by seeing how much has been added to the game already, and they even missed one here too, as purchasing ship with components was recently added to the closed alpha. Now while I won't run through everything listed here, I will touch on some of the key ones. Firstly, this purchasing update is a huge game changer, and this will change the economy like I mentioned earlier, by requiring ore to buy components instead of just buying them for credits only. This really cuts off the supply to components made out of rare ores, and will be part of how you progress in Starbase by finding rarer and rarer ores to buy more and more advanced items for your ships, and eventually stations. Both factory tools, factory areas and the blueprint caster will round out a gameplay loop we have seen very little of, in the form of making components and ship construction factory lines, as well as enhancing the salvage gameplay loop. This will most likely be dependent on the new inventory system, as this will enable the new cargo crate types and allow us to transport ship pieces more efficiently and safely. The new tripod autocannon will also enable creation of a new type of gunship. This weapon alone may well change the meta of combat in Starbase with its mouse-aimed weaponry. We then have large generators, hangars and cargo, pipe network and new modules will form the backbone of enabling the use of capital ships, so we won't see those until all of these are complete. Item Rarity is a brand new feature and completely unknown what this will bring. Maybe given the modular nature of the game, we will see copies of existing components with possible different stats or features. This could be anything from a faster firing weapon barrel to a souped up thruster exhaust that gives more thrust, but we will have to wait and see for this one on what it brings. New ship parts is also a huge one, as we desperately need more plate sizes as well as new windows for ships. Also affecting shipbuilding will be both the ship designer quality of life improvements and the ability to make alloys. Alloys will be new materials that combine several types of ore. These will give us new armor strengths and resistances, as well as possibly make a plate of any size glass, which would make a lot of shipbuilders happy, to not be limited to a small set of windows. Custom colours for armors is pretty late down the lines here, and I would love to see this pushed up as close to release as we can. And while it doesn't directly influence gameplay, it will give companies and factions out there a way to set a custom style for its members to use. And to finish us off, we have a little tease of what could come next, with Planetary system progression, simply stating a new atmosphere for Eos, that's the gas giant we're in orbit of, and a way forward. Could the devs be hinting at opening up travel to another planet? How will this release tie into the game? Will the community have to band together for one huge project to unlock this progression? Who knows, but it's certainly something to get excited for as the year comes to a close. There is so much in this roadmap, and I believe something for everyone, and certainly a lot to keep us busy with. The slight bump from May to June might sting a little, but knowing all this content is coming and that the game will get a few extra weeks of polish is such a small price to pay for what will no doubt be one of the biggest space games released this year. Please subscribe for more Starbase videos, and I will see you in the next one. Kenetor, out.